Hello again, YouTube. It's Billy Haynes here with yet another album review. This time we'll be doing 1994's release of the first album by Machine Head, The Burn My Eyes. Yeah, fucking. Now, this album comes with great controversy. It's one of those albums that, you know, I've seen really hardcore metalers still like this album. Just because, I don't know, they feel obliged to half the time. It's like, oh yeah, I guess we've got to throw it on the list. It's just like, okay, don't have to. I don't know. I always see like really mixed reviews when it comes down to Machine Head stuff, and I don't really understand why. But I know that this is a staple. I mean, if you're a Machine Head fan, you'll probably have this in your top 5 albums out of their back catalogue, I'm sure. I've spoken to many Machine Head fans. I am a Machine Head fan, to be fair. But how did I really feel about Burn My Eyes, especially coming back to it after all this time? Because there are certain tunes that I come back to. Sorry, flipping through my notes, wondering where the fuck everything is. There we go. But it's one of those albums that I think doesn't get enough credit where credit's due on the album, if that makes sense. Because let's get into it. Let's just start mixing it up a little bit. Davidian opens up the first track that you'll hear if you're starting from the beginning is that song by Machine Head. And it is a plague of a song because it's a classic. It's hard. It's hitting. It's everything that Machine Head does and does well. And it's a 5 out of 5. Quite understandably. But I think Davidian is the song that is measured continuously throughout their career. Which, not every song's going to be Davidian, I personally think Imperium is a better song. That's just my opinion. I think it's just as hard hitting, very different. It's got very much the same notage when it comes down to, when you hear it, you're just like, holy shit, yeah, okay. I know I'm listening to Machine Head now. But yeah, Davidian's getting a 5 out of 5, and it's completely justified in my eyes. But that's just me. Goes into Old. Old is one of the greatest Machine Head songs ever written. It really is. I love that song. Everything that Machine Head do and do well is on that fucking tune. And you think, because it's a classic album, it would be one of those albums that doesn't let up, which I think it does in certain points. But going to 1,000 Lies after this, you ain't got no chance, bro. That's a 5 out of 5 tune. I mean, the fucking guitaring on that shit is just fucking grand, isn't it? It really is. I mean, 1,000 Lies is just, again, another classic Machine Head tune. And it doesn't stop there. None But My Own comes next. Like, that's a 5 out of 5, isn't it? That is a fucking killer tune, dude. And this is what I mean. Those 4 tunes I come back to all the time. Why? Because they're fucking classic. They're not just good. They're not just great. They're fucking classic. They're 5 out of 5, dude. It's that simple. But this is where I think a lot of people go wrong with the album, is they remember the start of that album and they don't remember everything else. And The Rage to Overcome comes next. Really like the drums on that one. Really like the bass. I mean, the bass is actually fucking killer throughout this entire album, may I add. And yeah, the guitaring's good. But is it as good as what come before? Hell no. I think it's a good tune. Do I come back to it often? Not really. So it's getting a 3 out of 5. I think it's a good tune. Just saying. Death Church comes next. Really like the guitaring on that. Love the bass. Other than that, don't come back to Death Church pretty much ever, other than having to, listen to it to kind of refresh my memory of it. And I felt like that the first time round. I felt like I was so hooked in at this point, and the middle section kind of drops its belly. I'm just saying, I just think it was their first album, man. Yeah, it's so hard to make the perfect first album. It really is. I'm just saying. Some people hit off straight away, but sometimes that doesn't help their later career because everything else is measured upon it. But yeah, Death Church I don't come back to it often, and I don't feel guilty about it. I don't. A Nation of Fire comes next. Again, guitars and bass, I think, save that song completely. I think that's what makes it a good song. Sorry. It's a 3 out of 5. I think it's a good tune. But will I come back to it? Probably not. But credit where credit's due. It's a damn good song. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Blood for Blood comes next. Now, this is where it picks back up, man. Like, after this, you're just like, okay. And then you're like, holy fuck, yeah. Okay, I'm ready for this one. Fucking, again, the guitars, the bass, the drumming, and Rob's vocal delivery on it, fucking brilliant. 4 out of 5. It's a great fucking tune. Great fucking tune. Blood for Blood. That should be on the set list somewhere. All I'm saying, boys, is get it done. I'm Your God Now. Another one that I probably wouldn't come back to often. Really like the bass and the guitars on it. Other than that, it's good. It's a good song. It's a 3 out of 5. Real Eyes, Realize, Real Lies comes next. That's a good tune. Really like some of the guitaring on it. Yeah, it's 3 out of 5. It's a good song. And then it ends with Block. Block is fucking fantastic. I love that tune. Guitars and the bass and drums, fucking excellent. It's a 4 out of 5. I think it's a great song to end such a good album. It's such a good album. And let me rank it here. And to piss on everyone's chips or, or be like, oh, you overrated that. I don't give a fuck. This is my rating. I don't give a fuck what you think. Burn My Eyes. For a first album, I think it is a fucking blast. I think it was courageous for its time. I thought it's cutting edge for its time. It was a will to be different. And let's face it, in 1994, there was a lot of will to be different. We saw the end of fucking grunge. And metal was still going horrid and heavy on the underground, man. It really was. We're going to get into many albums that predated this. And that this was such a natural course for an album and for a band that was, hungry as fuck. Yeah, I'm giving Burn My Eyes a 4 out of 5. I think it's a great album. Yes, there are songs that I don't come back to on it, but does not affect my score overall, because there are some real fucking classic Machine Head moments on Burn My Eyes. And it has staying power, mate. It's that simple. It's a great fucking album. Is it their best? No, it's not. But it is what everything will be measured by, because that's the way that society and music listeners do, and especially rock fucking media. Oh, you didn't do as good, and like, fuck you, man. Like, art's art, and this is great art. Just saying. I've got a couple more to go. Really happy to be back. I know I've had a couple of days off, obviously went and saw Infected Rain and done all that. But yeah, I'm back on it, and I hope you guys are well. Really fucking missed you. And yeah, got 2 more albums for you. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the next 2 albums. That's all I'm saying.